Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today RIBB just filed an 8K and it details a potential delisting from Nasdaq. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company is facing serious trouble with Nasdaq over unpaid fees, and they have a very tight deadline to fix it. Alright, let's unpack this Form 8K filed by RIBB Acquisition Corp, or RIBB as it is traded. This is a current report, meaning something pretty important and immediate has happened. The date stamped on this report is the 4th of June 2026, and that is the date of the earliest event we're talking about today. First, some basic company info. RIBB Acquisition Corp is incorporated in the Cayman Islands, and its main operations seem to be based out of Japan with an address in Tokyo. Their Nasdaq file number is 001-42474. You can see their securities registered on the Nasdaq stock market, specifically Class A ordinary shares under the ticker RIBB, units as RIBB, and rights as RIBBR. The company also checks the box stating it is an emerging growth company. This means they are a newer company and can take advantage of certain regulatory flexibilities. However, it seems those flexibilities are not enough to get them out of this current predicament with Nasdaq. Now, let's get to the core of this filing. Item 3.01 tells us about a notice received from Nasdaq. Essentially, Nasdaq has determined to delist RIBB Acquisition Corp. Securities, this is a big deal because it means the stock could stop trading on Nasdaq, a major exchange, making it much harder for investors to buy or sell shares. The reason for this potential delisting is quite straightforward and frankly a bit surprising for a publicly traded company: failure to pay certain required fees to Nasdaq. Nasdaq listing rule 5250 mandates that listed companies must pay all their applicable fees. It's like forgetting to pay your rent or your utility bills, but on a much larger and more consequential scale for a public company. The specific amount past due is $75,000. While this might not sound like a massive sum for a large corporation, for a company like RIBB Acquisition Corp, it is clearly enough to trigger this severe action from Nasdaq. It highlights that even smaller amounts can have serious consequences if ignored. Now, there is a potential lifeline. The company can appeal Nasdaq's decision to a hearings panel, and importantly, they intend to do just that. Requesting this hearing will put a temporary hold on the delisting process, and the filing of the official delisting form known as Form 25 ends until the panel makes its decision. However, they are on a very tight clock. The deadline to submit this hearing request is the 11th of June 2026 by 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Missing this deadline would mean the delisting proceeds without further appeal. And of course there is another fee involved just to have this hearing. The company must pay $20,000 for the appeal process itself. So on top of the $75,000 they already owe, they need to come up with another $20,000 very quickly. The company states they are talking with Nasdaq and working to sort this out, but they also issue a crucial disclaimer: there is no guarantee they will be successful in keeping their securities listed on Nasdaq. This is the key takeaway here. The situation is serious and the outcome is uncertain. Historically, companies facing delisting notices for fee issues or listing rule violations often struggle to recover. For example, we've seen cases where such notices are precursors to more significant problems. While this specific situation involves unpaid fees, which is a more administrative issue, the fact that they let it get this far is concerning. It could indicate deeper financial or operational management issues. Nasdaq delistings can significantly impact stock liquidity and valuation. For instance, companies that get delisted often see their stock price significantly decline as they move to over. The counter markets, a comparable situation might be when a company fails to meet financial reporting deadlines, which can also lead to delisting. Typically, after a delisting notice, the stock price can drop anywhere from 20 to 50% or more, depending on the reasons for the delisting and the company's prospects. This report is signed by Anshuman Ghosh, the Chief Executive Officer of RIBB Acquisition Corp, dated the 5th of June 2026. This signature confirms the company is aware of the situation and is acting on it, or at least acknowledging it formally. Looking at the broader context, RIBB Acquisition Corp, trading under RIBBR, has seen its rights trading around $0.23 with a very narrow 52. Weak range also at $0.23. This indicates extremely low trading volume and price stability, which is often a sign of a stock that is not heavily traded or is experiencing significant challenges. The recent news headlines show a general lack of significant positive catalysts, with a May 22nd report from the legal advocate noting RIBB Acquisition Corp writes, RIBBR holds at $0.2 as flat trading continues. This suggests the company has been in a holding pattern or facing stagnation even before this Nasdaq issue. Institutional holders also show very small percentages, meaning no major investment funds are heavily involved, which can make it harder for a company to raise capital if needed. My biggest concern here is not necessarily the $75,000 fee itself, but what it represents about the company's management and financial discipline. Letting fees go unpaid to a major exchange like Nasdaq to the point of a delisting notice suggests a potential breakdown in basic operational oversight or a severe cash crunch, while they have a chance to appeal. The need to pay an additional $20,000 simply for the hearing on top of the overdue fees puts them under immediate financial pressure. If they cannot manage these simple administrative and financial obligations, it raises serious questions about their ability to navigate more complex business challenges. What I am actually looking for is evidence of a plan to rectify this and demonstrate financial stability beyond just paying off the immediate dues. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded, like, comment, subscribe, and join our Discord linked below.